think the revelation of Brooklyn and how much density of information and material and trash and noise was available to me really primed my practice to be about collection and reconfiguration and the recognition of an outline and seeing it often enough that it became an essence that I wanted. I have a very psychogeographic art practice and just walking life in general. And so I started looking down, and I started collecting things that I saw repeat. And I still work that way. Whether it's been pulling stills from YouTube imagery, and sometimes the YouTube imagery becomes part of my everyday, even though it's a generalized everyday for anyone. And in that way, I could be like a photographer, where I would grab stills. I would isolate moments and capture them. And most recently, I would say, working in large format colored pencil drawings, the mark becomes the thing that I'm collecting. And I get entangled in it, as will happen with collection, where it also becomes self-portraiture, where that thing I'm collecting, I become this mark, and then this mark, and then this mark. And I think the viewer sees themselves in between the marks. When I think about how the marks accreting over time become like memory, I think that I put myself in the position of both the maker and the viewer, because memory is so fluid. So I can go back and retrieve a thought or an experience or a feeling, but it will have shifted. If you think about time and how it doesn't necessarily have to be nonlinear, when you remember and recreate essentially an event, it could actually be happening right then. Yeah. I think I make odes to the everyday, and I think the way that happens is if I can be present through noticing, that's a good way of moving through the world for me. And then when I start to notice, I develop hierarchies of desire, and that becomes collecting. Another influence is Teju Cole, particularly his book of essays, Known and Strange Things. Every day is a container for Teju Cole to filter his larger concerns, and he can say them through the smallest of incidences. And again, that open-endedness, or that impossibility of actually creating an overview, or just saying suddenly this overview to let yourself off the hook, like, wow, this just happened, and it's not all here, but it's happening. I think that is the kind of work and the spirit in which I really enjoy working. Even if I'm having that conversation in my studio by myself, like, oh, that's funny.